You need to create content every week. It's part of what we need to do. It's part of our job as small business owners who are trying to grow online. Content is such a huge part of that. And I wanted to do this episode off the back of like literally several conversations I have had with small business owners, and also in reflecting on how I feel as well about the overwhelming sense sometimes of how much needs to be done in growing a small business online. And a huge part of that is content creation. It feels like its own set of skills and its own kind of beast on its own. And I want to encourage you that that is normal. Like, I don't think anyone tells you when you start a business that content creation will become one of your most important weekly responsibilities. And I do say weekly on purpose. It is something that we should be prioritizing on a weekly basis, because our online store needs it. Your Shopify store needs it. Your products and the amazing features and benefits about your products needs the content to back it up, to get out there. Otherwise, nobody is actually seeing your stuff. Like, nobody is going to see your stuff. And maybe you are also on Amazon, or Etsy, or eBay. Maybe you have a bricks and mortar store as well. Maybe you have wholesale accounts and you're on wholesale websites. All those different things are different, like revenue and income streams are great. But it doesn't remove the need for this important role in your business of creating content to get your brand out there, to find your customers, to give Meta, especially to give Meta uh, pieces of video and images that helps Meta find who your people are online and reach out to them and put your content in their newsfeed so that they see your reel, they see your image when they're scrolling Instagram or YouTube Shorts or TikTok and all those different places that we create content to be published. So yeah, it's one of the parts of growing an online business, especially when you are side hustling. This might feel like even harder work to do, or to feel excited about doing. But I do want to just encourage you and reiterate to you how important this job actually is. It's not a nice to have. It's honestly not a nice to have in 2026. It is, I've got written here, it is the fuel of your meta ads. Content will be the fuel of your meta ads. And I shared in last week's episode as well that if you haven't got a few pieces of content ready to roll into your ad account, and I mean a few, like 6 maybe, if you haven't kind of got some content ready to go, you are going to find your costs increase on Meta, and you will let those costs continue to climb because you're putting off creating the content you know you need to do. If you have some content ready to go, you will be much faster at pivoting and changing and jumping into your ads and refreshing all of that algorithm, kicking it off again and getting Meta to go find you some customers for a profitable, cost-effective result when you have the content there ready just to roll in when it's needed, rather than coming to a place of being like, oh my goodness, my ads are so expensive. What am I going to do? I have nothing to put in there instead. What am I going to create? I'll create some AI generated images, which are okay when they're coupled with other types of content. I recently had a campaign for a client that I turned off after 5 days, I think, because the campaign was only AI generated images. The costs were through the roof, like crazy amount, like 2 times his average order value of one purchase. It was insane, because it was just too many similar types of pieces of content, and Meta just like said no. It's kind of what Meta does. Like, we got to think about this from Meta's perspective. What am I saying? You know what I mean? Like, why would Meta push your 10 AI generated images into people's algorithm that will make them annoyed, frustrated, it all looks the same, or makes them leave the platform and go do something else with their life that's more productive? Meta wants to keep people on the platform. That's the same for every online platform. And our job is to create content. It's either you or it's someone else. This is, like I said, it's not a nice to have. This is either your responsibility in your job, or it's somebody else in your company, in your business's job and responsibility to feed this online world that we are trying to grow. We are often, most of us don't have a bricks and mortar store as well. But I did say as well in last week's episode, if you do have a bricks and mortar store, content creation is probably your superpower. One of my clients, that is 100% his superpower. He creates amazing content twice a day, 7 days a week. And that can be a bit of a light bulb for us when we actually take stock and realize how many other times our competitors are getting into our customers' newsfeed. Like your competitors, how often are they in their customers' newsfeed, in their social media feed, in their Reels feed? And where are you? Because if you're not going to do it, your competitors will. So you be the one to get into your customers' social media feeds. You be the one to get in front of them with video, especially video. This is very much about video because it's harder to do. And we often put that off even more. Hey, like it's sometimes easy to fall back on an image. I added 3 new ads to my own ad account like 2 days ago, and they were 3 images. And as soon as I published them, I thought, I just knew when I did it. I thought, I've put off doing a video. I should have done a video yesterday. I didn't do a video. I could have spent half an hour. I didn't do it yesterday. And now I have no video backup ready to roll in as a new ad to my own ad account for my e-commerce store. So I published 3 images, and I won't be surprised if the ad account kind of doesn't lag, but it's not going to kick off again. You will find, especially with Meta, when you're running ads, when you refresh what ads you have running with fresh pieces of content, it kicks it off again. It kicks it up a notch. It gets it firing again. It's like when you're starting a lawnmower. I feel like I've given this analogy before. When you're starting a lawnmower, your new pieces of video and images and carousels or GIFs, whatever, that you create to feature you as a brand that you're giving to Meta to go find your customers online, entertain them, and entice them to your website. This is all to get people to your website. When you do that, it's like when you pull a lawnmower, you are just kicking it off again until it revs up and goes. But if you don't have that content ready to go, and if you have put it off for weeks, you will probably find your ads have like slowed and your costs are increasing, and the way to rectify that is the new thing you are putting off. Like it's the job that you know that needs to be done, that actually is an important job. Like there's content creators now out in Australia is becoming like less of a weird job to have. Hey, like becoming a content creator is less of a weird job now in 2026 in the online world of Australia, and that is across the board. So it's either your job or it's someone else's. Like bottom line, people, there is no not doing this job in 2026. It's really not. And I really want to encourage you to have some things published and ready to go so that your ads don't stall, and you haven't got a way to fix that. And you fix that by rolling in new, fresh content. If you aren't publishing something, then your competitors are. If you aren't publishing something, your customers aren't seeing you. They're not actually seeing you. And like I said, if you are giving Meta 1 new video a month, Meta's not putting that in anybody's algorithm. It's not enough for Meta to work with, and your competitors are producing far more than you could ever imagine, and so they get priority. In fact, the more you can refresh your ads on a regular basis, your CPMs will also drop. Your CPMs is how Meta actually bills you. That's what you pay for. It's your cost per 1,000 impressions. So if your costs are really high, sometimes that's an ad that's been left running too long and Meta is penalizing you, or it's a heap of AI generated content and Meta is penalizing you because your CPMs are high. That means not many people are seeing it. If you think about cost per 1,000 impressions, you publish a video into your ad account, it's to a product page featuring something, and the types of video are many and varied. This episode is really just about like getting in gear, stop procrastinating, and just create the piece of content already. Hey, what's the very next step in growing online for your e-commerce store? If you're on Shopify, if you have Klaviyo, if you have Meta ads, or you need to leverage any of those platforms, I work on a project by project basis. So there's no like crazy long retainer you need to worry about signing up for if you work with me one-on-one for just 1 month. I can get you some emails sorted. Let's get your segments built in Klaviyo properly. Improve your deliverability score. Let's get you some revenue. You can actually see the metrics, see the revenue coming through. In 2025, email marketing made up 22% of my total revenue across the year, which was actually an increase of 80% on the year before. So I'm in a great position to support you as a small e-commerce store owner. If you are brand new to e-commerce, maybe you want to be DIYing these solutions for yourself. You want to jump into ads and build some ads, some audiences, some targeting yourself, get your Advantage Plus shopping campaign set up and all your creative firing. Please do so and listen to all my previous podcast episodes. There's no gatekeeping here. You can take all the information you want. Everything I share is results I see in my own ad account and my clients' ads accounts as well. It's experience from what is happening now in e-commerce, because yes, I am still an e-commerce store owner. I'm still in the trenches with you guys. Please find me at Aussie Online, growing on shopify.com.au. Book yourself a call. Let's chat. You won't regret it. And let's work together for a month and see where you want to go from there. Now, back to the episode. So it doesn't matter what piece of content you create. I really honestly don't care. Just do something. But the video you create, you publish in your ad account, the CPM kind of tells you if it's an expensive piece of content, if it's going to be costing a lot for you to get it in front of eyeballs on Meta, or if it's cost effective for you and cheap to get it in front of eyeballs. I can tell you that the clients I look after, the more frequently we refresh the ads in their account, the CPMs are much cheaper, because Meta likes that. We're giving Meta what it wants. We are giving not just Meta, your customers, like we're all giving the people you are trying to reach, the people you are trying to sell your stuff to, we're giving them more of what they want to see, more fresh, new, creative pieces of video and images on a regular basis. So it's cheaper. Meta's happy to push that out in the algorithm. People like to see it in their news feed or in their Reels feed. Then Meta rewards that with a cheaper CPM. So it's cheaper for you to get in front of those 1,000 people than if you're trying to run an ad that's been left for weeks and weeks and weeks. Then that will continue to increase, because Meta is done with letting people see that, because Meta has thousands of other things to show your customers instead. Remember, if you are not in their news feed, if you are not in their social media algorithm, then other people are, and other businesses are doing it. This is not about going viral either. This is just about showing up consistently to build trust with your audience and get in front of them and entice them to your website, like to get them to buy your stuff. So please use your videos everywhere as well. Like I said last week, they need to be published on every platform you have, in an email, in a blog post, on your organic socials, and ads as well. Use them everywhere and do this often. Make this a weekly part of your business routine. Consistency will win out for you in this step, because it will keep Meta ticking along. And it keeps your organic socials ticking along. Organic social media is a big deal now. It wasn't 5 years ago or 6 years ago, maybe 7 years ago. It was not such a big deal. You were either paying for ads or no one was doing. In fact, people weren't even really doing organic social media at all. But things have absolutely come full circle, and we are back into the world of organic social media being a really important part of growing your business. And if you are bricks and mortar as well, could be your superpower. Could be the way you stand out from every other bricks and mortar store in your niche, in your town, by creating some consistent organic videos that you then decide to put some money behind and let Meta spend that to push it even further as well. I want to share with you something that was a bit of a penny drop moment for me, a bit of a light bulb moment for me, when I came to terms with and made peace with the fact that I have to be the content creator in my own business for now, my e-commerce store, until I get such a time that somebody can be employed to do that for me one day, and I'll have someone that looks after social media. But in the meantime, it's a job that needs to be done, just like packing orders. It's honestly the same. You cannot do without it. You need to be doing it. So at the moment, it's my responsibility. Chances are it's your responsibility as well. And I want to talk to you about a bit of a light bulb moment that happened for me. I was in an e-commerce program last year. Many of you have heard of it. In fact, many of you will be part of this program called E-commerce Equation. They lean heavy on Meta. So much of their training is about Meta. In fact, how much of their training? A lot. 2/3 of their training is all about Meta and running ads and campaigns and structures and refreshing your creative. A huge part of what they do is teaching you Meta ads. So I was in that program last year for about 9 months. And this was a light bulb moment for me when I realized, even just as part of that program, and realizing how many other business owners were in the same program, which if you are in it, you know as well, thousands, literally maybe 3,000 or more Australian small business owners are in that program in particular, not to mention the other programs out there, but this is one of Australia's biggest. So imagine 3,000 other small business owners who are part of the same training program, attending the same training calls, chatting to the same coaches, who are all being encouraged and pushed to create new content regularly, to roll out 5 new ads, 10 new ads, 20 new ads. The number of ads you need to, I guess, roll out or incorporate into your rhythm as a business owner in the tasks of creating content really does depend a bit on how much a day you are spending on Meta. I will say you don't have to create 10 new ads every week if you are only spending $20 a day on Meta. That's you, because your ads won't be spending enough on each of them to even make a test. You need to spend enough on each ad to decide if it's good or not before you start incorporating more. But let's say these business owners, let's say there's 3,000 in this group. And like I said, chances are many of you listening are actually part of e-commerce equation as well, because it's such a big training coaching program in Australia, who are all being encouraged to create content, organic content and content for their ads, to refresh their campaign like I spoke about before, kicking it off again, checking when ads are slowing and fatiguing, and quickly rolling in new ones before you start wasting money on your ads. If those 3,000 Aussie brands are all being encouraged to create, and let's say a lot of them are, 5 new videos a week, that is 15,000 new videos a month in the meta algorithms of all the Australians and, other customers around the world when they're on their social media feed at nighttime. The same social media feed you are trying to compete to be in, you are competing with, this is broad, these are, because they're all in different niches, of course, but just think about this number for a minute. There could be 3,000 other businesses in Australia that are also being encouraged and seeing the validity of creating new, fresh pieces of content every week. If they're creating the 5 pieces of content every week that they're encouraged to do, that's 15,000 videos or images every month that are brand new showing up in people's algorithm. Like, there's only so much space for advertising that Meta is going to give us all. Otherwise, we would all see only ads in our algorithm. We'd only see ads. This is not accounting even for organic content. Like, most of what you see in your feed is organic content. The validity of creating organic content is kind of it's part of the same topic, I suppose, but it's kind of a whole nother beast if you think about the validity of creating organic content. One of my clients, he is an incredible content creator. He really loves it. He creates 2 pieces every day, 14 days a week of organic content he creates. For years he's been doing it. He's very good at it. He really enjoys it. So those 3,000 business owners, apart from the ads they're running, are also creating a huge volume of organic social media content, or being like encouraged and trained and coming around to the fact and making peace with the fact that this is a really important part of what we do now in 2026. So how are you possibly going to compete with 15,000 new ads that are kind of appearing in Meta just from Australian small businesses just who are part of this program every month? 15,000. That honestly blows my mind, because then I need to think about that for my own business and think, well, who is seeing my stuff? If I'm not creating things on a regular basis, no one. The answer is nobody is seeing my stuff, and nobody will be seeing your stuff either unless this becomes a part of your routine and your rhythm, and you give Meta a reason, or TikTok or Google a reason, to show your potential customers your videos and your images. So practically, I feel like I'll just wrap this episode up, these last 2 episodes, and try and give you a bit of just a practical summary, because I have ranted and raved quite a bit, and I'm worried I have jumped around a little bit and probably just said the same thing in 5 different ways. So I'm sure my message is clear. I don't think I'm being ambiguous, that's for sure. Is you should be, I don't say, no, you do, you should be. Like, this is as important as packing your orders and tweaking your website. Oh my goodness, please stop tweaking your website. Do this instead. Leave your website alone for a whole month and do this instead. This is what you should be doing every week, 3 or 4 social media posts. Minimum, like bare minimum, 3 or 4 organically published social media posts, videos and images. I repurpose a lot of my content. I'm happy to say it. I use a content scheduler, and a lot of my posts republish every 12 to 16 weeks automatically. So I repurpose a lot of content. I just do. I'm not going to publish every day otherwise. I hate to do it, And you probably do too. Many of you do. Some of you love it, which please, if you love it, go with it. Like, it is your superpower if you love it. So please lean into that. But if you don't love it, you've got to make it work for you. So I use a third-party publishing app that schedules my content and republishes it for me after a certain period of time if I choose to select that. So I have 2 pieces of content that publish every day, sometimes 3, but 2 pieces minimum every day, 365 days a year for my e-commerce store. Sometimes it's 3 a day, but it's minimum 2 every day, 7 days a week. But a lot of that is not uniquely created. I have repurposed content over the months. So I can have a video republished tomorrow that I created 6 months ago if I selected to have it republished again. So I would encourage you to use something like that if you really struggle across the board with getting your content scheduled. At the very least, use Meta's, content scheduling tool and get your content calendar filled out. But 3 or 4 posts every week to start building some momentum. That volume of organic social media is what your potential customers will see when they're scrolling online after they've seen an ad. Remember, Meta is only using so much of the algorithm for ads. So the 15,000 pieces of content that are being published of ads every month, it's like a random ballpark figure, 15,000 a month as ads. How many ads do you see in your news feed? Even if you feel like you see a lot, are you really seeing a lot? If you're scrolling on Reels, you're seeing mostly organic content. So this is such a valid thing to do, is to create 3 or 4 pieces of organic content a week. Because if somebody sees, when you run ads, when someone sees an ad on Instagram from you, often the next thing they will see is one of your organic social media posts that you created and published for free. That's often what they'll start to see next after they have seen an ad, especially if they've then interacted with an ad as well. And then repurpose, like I said, like put it on organic social media, ads, emails, blog posts, and also make it part of your weekly priority so that if depending how much you're spending a day on your ads is how many new pieces of content you should have ready to go. If you're spending under $50 a day on your ads, I'd encourage you to have maybe 5 new pieces of content ready every week. If you're spending over $50 a day on ads, you can still get away with 5 from week to week because sometimes your ads will tick along for a couple of weeks before they start to slow. But if you have a bank ready of 10, you are in the perfect position to quickly pivot and get some new content in there when it's needed. So let's go, guys. Like get ready on this. Our customers are scrolling right now online. You need to be there. And if you're not there, then somebody else is. So please don't do this perfect. Please don't do it. Don't do it perfect. Just get it done. Don't research it to the nth degree. Just get your camera out and record something and get it published every week. Start this week 1 post. Okay, let's do it. You, me. I'm going to do one this afternoon. I'll like take my own medicine and do it this afternoon too. Thanks for hanging out with me today on Aussie Online Growing on Shopify.com.au. As always, keep learning.